from live instruments to audio recordings, samples, DJs, and now AI music. How much farther can the technologizing of music go before the pendulum starts to swing back toward the organic human? 一个我最喜欢的成语就是物极必反. This concise Chinese idiom tells us what happens when things reach their extreme. Let's break it down. 物 thing, 极 extreme, 必 must, 反 opposite, which we can interpret to mean when a thing reaches its extreme, it must turn the opposite direction. I wonder how this concept will apply in the world of music, as we're at the beginning of this crazy AI explosion, which has captivated our interest and is completely transforming the world. I already thought the technologizing of music had gone pretty far, but instead of swinging back the other way, AI music is opening the field for new, previously unimaginable extremes. As music technology has evolved, it has constantly opened up new and exciting possibilities, which I've enjoyed exploring in my original music. But I also feel like it's detached many people more and more from that raw, visceral feeling of hearing an acoustic instrument or singer live in the same room with you. I've had the honor of exposing many people to the sound of live violin for the first time, and many of them comment about just how different it is to hear the acoustic instrument up close and personal. The joy of hearing a masterful live performance is undeniable and timeless, but there's also something intriguing and interesting about the new technologies, the new sounds that come with them, as well as the performance and showmanship opportunities. What we would now consider an old-school DJ spinning vinyls is fun to watch, and especially cool when turned into the new instrument of scratch DJ. From there, DJing has evolved to be more and more digital with MIDI controllers and such, and it's fun to see new ways of working with audio and also to watch the lights and everything. Now with AI music making constant advances, many of us predicted and are already seeing the rise of a new sort of AI DJ, both pure AI and human AI hybrided. Not only does AI make it possible to now generate music without knowing anything about music, at this point the generators could run on autopilot, producing music without any human input or intervention. This is fascinating and interesting, but about as dehumanized as you could get. Music as formula and algorithm and product, not as expression. So how far can this go? How far can the pendulum swing one way before needing to swing back the other way, as WuJiBiFan tells us it must? Will being thrust so deep into the digital world make people start craving the organic again? More specifically, will the flooding of the music industry with AI music make people start appreciating live human performances more again? How many different ways can I dramatically elaborate on the same basic question? Maybe I'm just seeing what I'd like to believe, but I feel like even before this AI boom, the pendulum did start to swing back towards people craving more human, more real instruments. In 2009, in the thick of the DJ worship phenomenon, I started weaving live improvised violin lines through DJ sets, and people always commented that the violin gave such a nice dimension and richness that you couldn't get in another way. And now today, the set of violin with DJ is extremely common to see. Some always appreciated live musical performances more, but back when I first started, many people were still more in love with DJs than the musicians who made the music that the DJs spun. Why is a question I'll get into in another video. But the point is that even when DJs were at the top of the food chain, people always told me that the violin was like a breath of fresh air, and that continues to give me hope. As AI dehumanizes music to a whole new level, I wonder if people will start to hunger more for that raw, organic human. I feel like in every aspect of life, we're hungering for more substantive and real, not just cheap and easy. Nourishing food, not just tasty junk. Meaningful social connection, not just social media. Passionate, intimate sex, not pornography. Transcendent spiritual experience, not spiritual fads or dogmas. Expressive music, not commodity music. WuJiBiFan tells us that the tide eventually has to turn, and we see this reflected in the natural world as true. But in the context of music, It's hard to say how much farther we can go into this hyper-technologized before we start shifting back. Will we start to see this already happen? Or will it go farther and farther until the knowledge and interest in how to play acoustic instruments is all but lost? I hope that as AI pushes us to this new extreme, that we start to appreciate musical ensembles like the symphony orchestra, in which 80 to 100 of the most amazing instrumental musicians gather together in an acoustically tuned concert hall to play some of humanity's most sophisticated and amazing music together in real time. At the very least, I think we'll see more and more fusion of AI technology with skilled human musicians, making AI-human hybrids of many different forms, similar to what I did in the album Resistance is Futile, but continually evolving. This reminds me, there's also another interpretation of WuJiBiFan, extremes touch. Many of us are already looking for ways to harness the power of AI, but still inject a lot of humanity and feeling into it. Maybe the interface between AI and humans will become more and more streamlined and intuitive until controlling AI instruments will start to feel organic and expressive again. I recently saw that Jacob Collier, of all people, is starting to work with Google on a new type of AI music, in which instead of just being imitative, supposedly it's opening the door for new types of sounds and an improvisatory type of workflow. As someone who loves improvising in general and also exploring new technologies, I'm definitely interested and excited to see how this and other similar technologies progress. So maybe the extremes will touch in that way. Or maybe the extremes will touch in that as people are interested in AI music, they become interested in music in general and want to pick up instruments and learn more traditional music making methods. That sounds pretty far-fetched and out there to me. I wouldn't have thought of this. So I was surprised when Lynn Cole commented on one of my previous videos that exact thing. She says, "Would you believe that AI was what inspired me to learn how to read music, pick up conventional production tools like DAWs, and play an instrument for the first time since art school? I got a taste of how creatively satisfying music could be, and I wanted more." To me, this is kind of a best-case scenario, and I can only hope that there are more people like Lynn. How will WuJiBiFan play out in this context? Are we approaching the limit, or will the horizon keep extending indefinitely outwards? I was going to ask what you think will happen, but what any of us thinks is pretty irrelevant. So I think the better question is, what direction would you like to see us go? And what can you personally do to help us aim collectively, even just a little bit more in that direction? Let me know in the comments. I love you.